So vocoders do not come with Pro Tools. There is a vocoder that comes with Logic, and there's a vocoder that comes with Ableton Live. So there are a couple vocoders out there that you can get for that come with software, DAWs, and possibly FL Studio has a vocoder as well. I'm not really sure, but a free vocoder. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to show you this one. I mean, we can show you this one in a second to just show you how they sound differently. But this Towel vocoder here. This is a free vocoder. Towel vocoders are free. I don't know that this one, let's see, input mode on, yep, key input. Okay, so there's a couple things. Have I ever tried Razor? Is that a vocoder? I'm not I haven't tried Razor. I don't know what that is. Is that a vocoder? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of lag going on too. Let me just quit this. Let me quit Isotope Updater. Nobody wants to update you. Stop it. I'm gonna cut this out as well. Oh, interesting. It runs through. Oh, Razor. Yeah, Razor's. I didn't know you could vocode with Razor. Razor's an additive synthesizer. Sorry, I didn't know. I didn't realize what you were talking about. Yeah, I have Razor. We're going to talk about Razor actually next week. We're talking about synthesizers and stuff like that, and we're going to be talking about Razor next week. I didn't realize it was a vocoder. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize you could use it as a vocoder. If that's the case, that's dope, and you'll have to show me how to do that because I've never seen it like that. Neat. That's cool. Yeah, let's talk about it next week. I'm definitely down to talk about that. So a couple things here about vocoders. Let me just show you the notes here. The vocoder part's actually at the end of stuff here. So what a vocoder does is it allows you to use the sound to manipulate the properties of another sound. And we just watched the whole video about it there. So essentially what's happening is you've got your vocal part and you have a synthesizer, and you use the synthesizer to kind of combine them in a way where the synthesizer is doing the actual sound and the voice is kind of making the synthesizer like the envelopes and a bit of the timbre and stuff like that, and they're kind of mixing them together, but not like mixing them like you just mix volume levels, but you're actually combining the two sounds. And like I said, we just kind of watched a video about it a little bit, but that was more about the history and not how to actually do it. So this is how to do it. What you do is you have your synth and you have your original sound, and you run both of them into a vocoder machine, some kind of a plug-in or whatever, or it can be hardware or software, and then outputted is the modulated sound. So the way that we do this in Pro Tools or Logic or Ableton Live or whatever is you have your vocal audio track here, and that's your voice, and you put the vocoder plugin on that track, and that's really important, and it's right over here. The vocoder plugin, insert a vocoder plugin onto your vocal track. That part is super important. Let me just move this over. And then you route a synth here into the vocoder, and then you play both at the same time, and then you'd be amazed. And that's how vocoders work. And that's how vocoders work in Pro Tools, but it's also how vocoders work everywhere. It's not just Pro Tools, it's everywhere. So what we're going to do, and you can ignore that last page that says today's assignment. That's not today's assignment. So what we're going to do here is I've got here, I'm going to go ahead and let's get my other inserts up here for a second. I don't usually use these. I'm going to put the vocoder after everything. So I'm going to keep all my, hey, you go down here. Oh wait, is it? Oh yeah. I'm going to keep these up here. And the order for a vocoder stuff, probably you're going to put the vocoder at the end of things. I'm not really sure. I want all these to affect my voice, and then I want the vocoder to come in here later. So kind of depends on what you want to do with that vocoder. But in this case, I'm putting the vocoder after all my other plugins. You can see here's my list of plugins here. I've got my EQ 1 band and my de-esser, and I've got my compressor, and then I've got my 7-band EQ. This is all stuff we talked about last week. and then I'm going to put my vocoder at the end. Now, if I go ahead and play, you can see that nothing is happening. We're not hearing anything. So the voice is going, you can see right there, but we're not hearing the voice. And that's because we're not doing anything with our vocoder yet. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go over here to our instrument, and we're going to put an instrument on here. And let's go ahead and use, here, let's use an ARP 2600 just because it's like a classic. If we want to go for that kind of classic vocoder sound, let's use a classic synth. And we'll use a lead sound, and we'll just lead whatever. I'm going to go ahead and play some notes on this to make sure it sounds like something. Yeah, there we go. Cool. I'm going to take off the delay because we do not want the delay on here. I think I'm going to take off the delay. Where's my effects? There's my delay down here. Dry wet. There we go. Boop. All right, cool. And the chorus. Awesome. There we go. And if I want to mess with my filter, here's my filter. Cool. All right, so there's my sound there. So what's going to happen is this sound here is going to be run into our vocoder. So I'm going to open up my vocoder as well. So I have both of these things in here at the same time. And here they are. Now what you need to do is you need to send the audio from the instrument here into our vocoder. And the way we do this is, look at our thing here. We're going to send this out from bus number 1. Let's just send it out from a mono bus. And I'm going to send the output from bus number 1 so we don't hear the original synth, because you don't want to hear them both at the same time. And I'm going to send it into the vocoder here, not into the track, but into the vocoder itself. And we do that through our key input. And the key input is right here in Pro Tools, key input. And this is the part that everybody always forgets, is this key input part. Everybody, they always try to like insert something or have something sending into like a compressor or a vocoder or something, and they always forget to do the key input part, because that part's like really easy to forget about. And so whenever people come up to me and they're like, I've got everything set up, I'm sure it's set up, and I can hear the synth by itself, and I can hear the vocal, and then I put the vocoder on it, and I've got them, and I think they're working together, and I don't know what's wrong because I can't hear it. It's always because of that. It's always that key input. So set the key input here, and now I'm going to set my bus output to be my bus number 1 here. Not my bus output, but my main output here. Go from this part here. And it's going to go to bus number 1, which is what we've got set up here, right there. Boop. So now when I hit go, I'm sure there's a button on here I got to press. Let's see what happens. So first of all, you can see my synth is doing stuff. Yeah, it's not doing. There we go. No. Sorry, I've never used this one before. Why are we not hearing? And of course that's how it's going to work, right? Of course that's how it's going to work. Let's see. So we got this. Oh, it is. Okay, it is doing something, but it's not changing the pitch. Why are we not changing the pitch? The pitch should be coming from over here. And this one by itself is changing the pitch. That's working. Sorry, I always do this with other vocoders. Okay, and that's doing its thing there. And I'm gonna set this to loop because it's gonna, there we go. Just another night.
till I saw you there.
It's playing.
She was so complex to study every line.
Oh yeah, okay. You can hear it, it's just not, hold on, let's, controls, release the envelope. It's just not, it's not a very strong, it's not a very strong one for some reason. Hold on, let's see. I don't want that. Poly mode, I don't need poly mode. Is there a dry wet in here somewhere?
Another night until I saw you. She was so complex to study every layer. Just another night till I saw you there.
You can hear the vocoder in there.
So complex to study every layer. Another night
Yeah.
till I saw you there.
Sorry about that. All right, I'm gonna use a different vocoder because this vocoder, I'm not feeling it. Tau stuff is good, and maybe if you mess around with it, you can get it working better than me. But let's go over here and actually use the other vocoder. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry. And let's do this also. Does this one even have the input? We might just switch over to Ableton Live here for a second because that's my jam. Active bypass. Show value display. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to, well, so here, let's check this out. I'll show you how to do this one. So what's going on here, you've got your, this one has like a synthesizer built into it. I don't know if you can use an external synth or not with this one, but here, let me just show you how to use something like this one. And what this one, the way you'd use this one is instead of having an instrument track, here what you do is you make a MIDI track. Because we still need to, so what this is doing basically is it's combining everything. The synth is inside the vocoder itself, kind of like a vocoder synthesizer. And, oops, come on, stop that. So that's what's going on here. So let me just show you how to set this up in Pro Tools, and probably the other one we can set up like that as well. So what I would do is make a MIDI track, this MIDI track, and in the MIDI track, we're going to go here to the output of this is going to go here to this vocoder channel thing. Whatever this plugin is, wherever you put the channel plugin, it's just going to show up here. I'm going to set it to channel 1. So now what happens is every time we hit something on here, it's going to play this one over here. See how it's got the MIDI button here is lighting up? Whenever I hit keys on my keyboard, our MIDI button is lit up. And actually, this is a great time for me to show my keyboard setup. Cool. Let's just move that over like that. Let me get the, because I bumped my camera earlier. Sweetness. Yay. So now you can see here, and it's hitting my thing. Actually, let's do this one. Yeah, cool. So, you can see I got my screen here. So now if I hit play on this, why? Oh, you know what's happened? Hold on a second, sorry. I have too many UID plugins happening. Sorry. Let me just, what do we got going on here? We have, we're using a lot of these. But I felt like we were probably, oh, we've got this bass one here. Let's turn this bass off. There we go, cool. Hold on a second. And let's turn off the, okay, let's do the G bus. That's gonna definitely use a lot of the power. Yeah, because this vocoder thing probably uses quite a bit of processor power as well. I don't think anybody wants to become famous using that guy's thing, right? Probably not. So I'm just going to get this vocoder back up. I'm going to turn this off. No insert. Unless we're about to crash Pro Tools, which, oh no, we're good, okay. Well, let me just make sure this is here. All right, so. Let's see if this is gonna work. I'm just not, I might be using I might have to like take all the UAD stuff off here and just use this vocoder. Or I might have to restart Pro Tools. It might not be a happy Pro Tools right now. Or I can stop using Pro Tools and open up Ableton Live, but I don't want to do that. I kind of want to do it in here. So let's see if we can get this working. Let me just go ahead and restart Pro Tools, because now Pro Tools is, you can see how many things I have open on my computer. It's never a good idea to have that much stuff open on your computer when you're trying to do stuff with your computer. Force quit Pro Tools. Oh, let me quit Spotify right now too. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Pro Tools and I'm just going to turn off a bunch of the UAD plugins before we insert that one, because we're probably pretty good without a bunch of these on here just for showing this stuff. So go ahead and do this mix too. I'm not gonna continue where I left off because it's easy enough just to get back to where I was, and I want to turn off some of these plugins anyway. So yeah, come on. What's going on in Pro Tools? Oh, wow. Am I gonna need a whole restart? It's possible we might need to take a break while I restart the computer. Are talk boxes the same as vocoders? No, they're not. Vocoders and talk boxes are different. They're similar-ish, but they are different. They're different devices. So when people talk about a talk box, they're talking about a talk box, and when people talk about a vocoder, they're talking about a vocoder. But they have a similar sound. And oftentimes people get confused by which one is which. Oh, my Pro Tools is not happy. Boo. Poor Pro Tools. Okay. Well, I want to show you this, but oof, I do not want to restart my computer. Hold on, let me see. There's another way to do this without actually restarting. Let's try to use Ableton Live and see, and I'll just show you this, and then we'll take a break and we'll come back and I'll have to restart my stream and everything. So a couple things that we can learn from this. One is don't have too many programs open on your computer at the same time, because if something goes wrong, your computer's going to be like, oh nope, and it's going to crash everything. So like you can see how many programs I have open. That's way too many. When I'm working on music, I never have this many programs open. Literally, the only reason I have this many programs open is because I'm teaching. So it's never a good idea to have this many programs open. And then the other thing is also when you're using UAD, just be aware of your DSP limit here. So anyway, here's Ableton Live, and I can use this one. I know this is going to work because I have the Ableton Live comes with a vocoder, and it's dope. It's actually one of my favorite vocoders. I just need to get an audio file. So we'll use the same audio file from that track. I'm just going to go ahead and grab it from my teaching files. Go down here to the projects, Pro Tools editing project, and we'll use the Just Like You audio files and the Vox main. Here we go. We'll just stick that on here. Actually, wait. Let's stick it in this view here. Cool. Turn the warp off. There we go. So now we got this here. We're not going to have the other instruments, but we will have this. Oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry, y'all. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this one. Who are you? That one's already got kind of a vocoder-y type of thing on it. Audio files. Cool, here's our vocals. All right, so we got this.
Just another night till I saw you there.
All right.
She was so complex I had to study every.
All right, cool. So here's our vocal. And here's our MIDI track. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the vocoder on here. And this is a little bit more how you would use a real vocoder anyway. So, and you can use any synth you want with this. So go down here to my audio effects vocoder, stick that on there, boom. Now we got our vocoder here. So I got this. Yeah, I'm a fan of Ableton Live for this kind of stuff anyway. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab a plugin over here and let's use the Arturia. So let's use that ARP like we were trying to use before. I'm going to throw this on my MIDI channel here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's grab a sound that we like. Go to our lead sounds and let's just use the same one we were trying to use before, that Uno sound. Turn the delay and the chorus off. There we go. There's that one. Let's just turn that on. Awesome. I'm going to turn the filter up. There we go. Cool. So we got that. Now this vocal part here, what I'm going to do is we're going to get the carrier. If we look down here in the bottom corner, we're going to get the carrier to be an external input, and then we're going to get the audio from our ARP 2600. So now if I hit play, you can see the sound. The input is here. Right, there we go. And now what we're going to do is I'm just going to turn off, I'm going to mute this one so we can't see anything here. We can't hear it, but we can see it coming into over here. I'm going to make it post effects. That means the mixer's not going to affect it. And now if I hit go, there we are. And now I can play it. And you can see as I play stuff, you can hear it change, and so it's a really cool thing. Now, what happened before is that the cool. So what happened before is that every vocoder is very, very different, and I don't have a lot of experience with those vocoders just because I don't really use them because I'm so into this vocoder right here. So everything is very, very different. And so when I open that up, first of all, it didn't want to play nice with my UAD because I just had too many other UAD plugins in there, so it wasn't going to work. And when I hit go, it was just like, no, stop. And then Pro Tools crashed. So that's the problem there. When we come back from the break, I can open up Pro Tools on a different session that doesn't have so many UAD plugins going on, and then I can show you that other plugin in Pro Tools. But this is what a vocoder sounds like. So here's this. So you can see I'm playing it, and if you look down in the bottom corner down here, this little thing here, you can see that is getting signal there, but we're not hearing anything. And you can see over here, signal's happening, but it's grayed out. Right? So that's showing us that signal's happening, we're getting signal, that's all great. If I hit play, you can see the vocoder is there's stuff happening with the vocoder, and it's going through my vocal over here, but we're not hearing anything until I play the keyboard. And then, you know, you're playing it, I'm playing it with my keys. You can see I'm playing. I can play whatever. And I can do, you know, all that stuff. Now, what's really cool about this is, I'm just going to loop this part right there. And if I go back over here to this one here, and I'm just going to play that. If I change my sound as I'm playing stuff here, you can hear, I can play, and you can hear it's. So I can change it here. And some of these sound better with, some of these sound better, some of them you can't hear what the guy's saying at all. Let's go back to this one. Let's get rid of that. These effects here, not a fan of the effects for this. And so you can see, you know, as I play, right? But if I wanted to hear more of the voice, what I can do is I can go over here to my vocoder down here in the corner. Let me just go ahead and zoom in on that for you. So I got this vocoder here, and I can go ahead and dry wet this. Right, and I can play the right key. And I can play harmonies. I can play different chords. Like that. And so you can dry wet it, you can, you know, change the mix. You can also go in here though, and you can mess around with these bands that are in here. And one of the cool things about this vocoder that I love is that it's got all these different amounts of bands. So if you want to sound more old school, right, you can't even hear the voice at all, right? And now it sounds a little bit more polished. And I can go in here and I can change my formant here. Just put these all back up. You know, you can do all sorts of stuff, and there's, I mean, you just gotta really, what you gotta do is you just gotta get in there and play with stuff. So kind of like arcade. I haven't actually played with arcade. It does sound like Daft Punk. I actually haven't played with arcade, but I've heard a lot of cool stuff. That company Output is they're making a lot of waves. People really like that stuff a lot. So that's basically a vocoder. Let's do this. Let's take a 15-minute break. Be back at 10:55. But what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to re-log in, because I'm gonna have to restart my computer just because it just went haywire. So I'm gonna have to get everything set up again. I'm gonna go ahead and close out of here. So I'm gonna